I'm Luke with SSfueled Motorsport. Here with Richard, and we're doing a little bit of DCR stuff today. So he's with Ryan Marin's crew and Fireball Camaro guys that you're probably familiar with from Street Outlaws. And we're doing a DCR install on Ryan's truck, an F450 that we want obviously to be the most reliable thing out there to get you guys back and forth to the track.
Right. And yeah, I was Justin called up and said to Ryan, said, "Hey, you in the area?" Obviously, we were headed down from Minnesota to Bowling Green, and you guys are right on the halfway down. So a little more than halfway. We're 2 hours from Bowling Green. So, but perfect timing. Worked out great. We didn't have anything going on today, so pulled the rig in and nice and early, and you guys jumped right on it 7 o'clock this morning. You were tearing her apart. So it's about 3 o'clock now, and heck, we're moving along.
Ian's getting pretty close. He's been slaving away over there, getting it torn down and back together again.
Yeah.
But it'll be a good upgrade for that truck. Make sure to get you guys reliably back and forth to the races and prevent any painful downtime.
Yeah, because obviously we're all familiar with the systems going bad. I had one in a 2013, which I still own, and it wrecked the system. $18,000 later out of my pocket. They fixed it, and at the time it was disappointing because it had 46,000 miles on it. And then I obviously did not know these even existed till now, and really looking forward to getting one in my truck in the future, because got 140,000 on there now, but I plan on keeping it a while, and I don't want it to happen again, because that's just that's a huge expense.
And it's just as susceptible to happen again now as it was at 40,000 miles. But yeah, that's what we didn't even know until meeting you this morning. It seems like it was staged, but we didn't know at the time you showed up. You're like, "Oh, I know all about this." Unfortunately, this happened to me, and the truck was under warranty technically, right?
Yeah, I had a couple of different warranties. I had the Ford warranty, and then I also had because it was a business truck, they gave me another warranty, and neither one they literally just told me to walk. Yeah, they didn't help at all.
What was the reasoning for that?
They said it was my own problem that I put contaminated fuel in it.
Okay.
So, and then later on I found out that that's what they tell everyone. So, had a few friends. I had actually one friend that had one go bad at 450 miles.
Wow. Brand
new truck. So, they just obviously something's not quite right with their system when it goes bad. Obviously, if it doesn't go bad, you're one of the lucky ones. And I know there's a lot of people out there that haven't had that issue.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, if you have that issue, it is no fun. So obviously with your preventative kit that you got, I'm sure there's a lot of people that'd be interested in that, as well as the actual full replacement.
Yeah. The disaster prevention kit we've had in production for a few years is a great option for people. Up until now, having the full-blown, the DPK would help to make that more like a $2,000, $3,000 bill, what you had, instead of a $18,000 bill like you ran into at the dealership.
Right.
But now the ultimate is the DCR, where you just get rid of the problem altogether and you don't have the unplanned downtime. But what year was that when that failed?
I believe it happened in probably 2015, 16.
Yeah.
And, I didn't really put a lot of miles on it. I haven't really put a lot of miles on it till recently, the last couple of years, because I drove that truck a lot back and forth to the races with Ryan, with Street Outlaws.
Yeah.
And we use it a lot for towing certain things. We have a lot of trucks, but you never have enough. So and it's just nice to have an extra one. And it's, like I said, we use it a lot. We use the other Fords a lot, and we just kind of want to make sure they're reliable. Don't want to get stuck out like you guys happen to you guys. You don't want to get stuck somewhere out on the highway, 5-lane highway, pulling a trailer. My luck would be Chicago, which is my absolute. I hate driving through Chicago.
Absolutely.
And Atlanta. That's where I'd break down, right on the rush hour.
Atlanta's miserable.
Yeah.
So. And you guys spend a lot of time on the road and on a pretty tight schedule, I'd imagine.
All
high profile, tight schedule. So that's a perfect application for making sure reliability is key.
Yeah.
And I think the contamination thing is part of the trouble with a lot of the situations like you were in yourself, where you had a failure. You probably didn't even know. Had you ever even heard of a CP4 before that, or even know that was an issue with those trucks?
I did not. No.
But there is fuel contamination problems that do lead to that, obviously, without people knowing that. And unfortunately, sometimes the dealers will see that, and to Ford's defense, they say, hey, what were we supposed to do? There's water in the fuel.
Right.
But then also that's an easy excuse for some, depending on what shop or what dealership you're at or whatever else. You know, sometimes it's legit, sometimes it's not. But regardless, just by design, the CP4 is just not very resistant to that kind of thing. So if it gets good, clean fuel all the time, everything's perfect. There's no
which is
abnormal conditions.
It's almost impossible.
Yeah.
You know that. I mean, you can take care of your systems, and eventually it's going to get contaminated one way or another.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, we like that other truck that's in here right now.
So, and it isn't. I mean, and it's just everyday use, and people not. You know, you don't know where you're going to get fuel, and sometimes, like we have certain places that we definitely get fuel, and then sometimes you're in a situation where you've got to get fuel from a different source, and not know exactly the conditions of it.
Well, at any time, it's hard telling what's in some of the tanks underground, and you know that. People use the best stuff they can. You just never know. But that's where, you know, just by design, this architecture is much more resistant to failures because of that. And we, grab that sample bottle. So
I know you showed me that. And I just cringed. I mean, and it's been a long time. I mean, it's been a few years,
gross.
But I just
this all just kind of fell into place this week.
Yeah.
Or today, actually. None of this was planned, but we had we're not a mechanic shop. We don't wrench on stuff, but we happen to have two trucks in here right now. Ryan's being one of them, and the other being a field test customer.
Justin was guiding me in, and I was like, man, are you sure I should be driving on these floors? 'Cause it is too nice. It is too nice to get this started.
It's too nice for a mechanic shop, because it's not a mechanic shop, but every once in a while, Ian inherits some projects, unfortunately. So he's actually our main engineer on the DCR program, but he ends up being a mechanic on the side,
knocking it out over there today for sure.
But this is a fuel sample that came out of a field test, a DCR field test truck that we had. So that is nasty, and the truck was running fine. Actually, we brought it in to do an update. It was a earlier prototype version that had been installed since November or so, and we brought it in, just to get it with the latest and greatest production hardware, and then found all this stuff in the fuel. The filters end up looking like this.
Yeah.
Completely rusted up. It's cringeworthy.
That is cringeworthy, because you know what it's going to do to your truck. So
if this, we're going to do a little more investigation, but high likelihood, if a CP4 had eaten all this, it'd have been like you in 2015.
Yeah.
On the side of the road and with a really, really expensive bill. But so far that DCR is still going, even though it ate a whole bunch of that nasty stuff.
It's just not something you expect with a newer truck and, lower miles. You think you're going to take it in, and they're going to say, oh, it's just this or that, and warranty's going to cover it. And then be like, oh, and then once I started researching it, I was like, well, that's a pretty common thing. And it's, man, it was disheartening at the time, because it just, not a lot of people have that kind of money laying around. You got to get it fixed. It's your livelihood, your work truck. So you got to keep moving on.
And a lot of these guys, they finally bought their dream truck.
Yeah.
And then they have an issue like that, and maybe they're a little overextended anyways, because these trucks are really expensive.
They've gotten very expensive. So.
You got more expensive repair bills and a lot of things going on that keep you from really enjoying your dream truck anymore. But like I say, sometimes it really is just this kind of stuff in the fuel, and that pump, the CP4, just will not handle it. It'll have a catastrophic failure. So.
Well, I'm really excited to, obviously get it done in my truck. I know Ryan's thrilled to have this getting done today. It's just like, it's the main thing is a peace of mind over this one less thing we have to worry about out on the road. So durability and just be able to go, and sometimes we just don't have time to even slow down. So today was the perfect day. I don't know how it all worked out, but first thing Ryan said was, hey, you remember what happened to your truck? And I was like, I do. But he said, well, that prevents this. So he's like, so get it in there, and let's get it installed. So
well, I'm glad it worked out. It was
did.
Like I say, it was kind of a fluke deal, but between Justin and you and Ryan, the stars aligned, and then
well, it was just perfect timing too, because I was really at an intersection where I was fixing to head straight south. and then head over here. It was 6 hours this way, and it would have been like 9 hours, 10 hours the other way. So worked out. Absolute perfect timing. So
well, we appreciate you stopping by and making the time, and
thank you.
Unfortunately hearing your story, and we'll make sure that doesn't happen again in the future.
Yeah, hopefully not. But we appreciate. I appreciate you giving me the full tour. We're going to have a video up on our YouTube for you guys as well. All our social media at Fireball Camaro. So you guys can check this out, see what it's about. We'll have links on ours so that you guys can come check it out. They got full install videos, everything you need to get this thing done. So
sounds good.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you so much.
It.